Welcome back. This is your Palm Beach Guide. I'm Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, where it's always sunny, always nice, always beautiful. And for those of you listening today and not watching, I just want you to know that it's a Lily Pulitzer kind of a day. I've got my new colleague here with me, but it's Lily Pulitzer. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, this is a Lily Pulitzer sport coat.
Very nice.
Lily Pulitzer, thank you. Thank you, Arggin. I'll introduce him in just a second. This is new, and it's new because Lily Pulitzer has not had a men's line for quite some time. And lo and behold, it's a new year, it's a new season. So we've got the beautiful Lily Pulitzer, who is the epitome. If you don't know who Lily Pulitzer is and you're listening and not watching, Google Lily Pulitzer, woman who started a fashion line in Palm Beach, I believe the 1960s, if I'm correct, somewhere around that area. And men's clothes, women's clothes. And when you see it, you will recognize it. But I got this. This was a jacket, was a birthday gift to me from my colleagues at my office. The first men's line in years. They've got the matching pants, matching tie, matching pocket square. But so check it out, Lily Pulitzer. I love Lily Pulitzer. Am I being paid for saying this? Absolutely not. I just love it because it is Palm Beach. With me today, speaking of Palm Beach, with me today is my new colleague, our new events manager, Arggin Avanessian. Arggin, good day. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. We've worked together now about, I think, a month and a half, something like that.
Yeah,
and
a little over.
You're a little over, and you've got quite the pedigree from where you came from to work. Now, we had decided to hire an events manager because it occurred to us that we do close to 75 events per year at the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. And those events are pretty much what we call in season here in Palm Beach. In season means the time when everybody's here. And Palm Beach used to be a very seasonal kind of a market where there was nobody here or virtually nobody here in May, June, July, August, September. It's weather's too hot, too many hurricanes, too many whatever's going on this. But since the advent of COVID, so many people moved to Palm Beach in Florida. Now, little known fact, 1,000 people a day move to Florida. 1,000 people a day move to Florida, which is absolutely wild and just crazy. And a lot of them come to the Southeast Coast, which is Palm Beach County, Broward County, Martin County, and Miami-Dade. Anyway, we hired an events manager because we do 75 events per year and we just can't do them. So Arggin, welcome to the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you so much.
We're so glad we're here. So let's back up a little bit. And I don't want to go back to the job before you had with us because it was totally cool. But you have a pedigree about where you went to school in Europe.
Right.
Tell me about the name of the university, what you did, and why it's such a special place.
So it's called La Roche Marbella specifically. It's a Swiss school. It's a hospitality school. So it started in Switzerland, and then they opened campuses in different countries. So they have one in Spain. That's where I went. And they basically teach hospitality management. So the bachelors learn business administration focused in hospitality. And they have master's programs in hotel management, or I did marketing and management for luxury tourism specifically.
What motivated you to go do this? I mean, there had to be a reason. Something had to inspire you in your life to want to do this.
Yeah. So, I mean, previously, before that, I've worked a couple jobs, and I guess I started working in luxury. And when I started working in like the luxury environment, going to the events was one of my favorite things. So I just kind of, got familiar with the landscape, started following companies on LinkedIn, and I started finding a bunch of creatives that were posting these concept ideas for brands. So like, for example, I saw a Dior yacht, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like a
Dior yacht?
Yeah, like a cruise trip of Dior, right? Like a whole experience to experience a brand in a physical space. And I thought that was the most interesting thing. And it's really how marketing is changing a lot. You see more and more brands doing pop-ups.
Yes.
Because they want people interacting with their brand, like entering a world of their brand, basically. And so, I mean, not a lot of companies were doing it. Luxury was one of like the first to do these abstract creative concepts. And they're usually the ones taking initiative to do these new ideas. And so I focused in on luxury. I actually just, was searching it so much, I started getting ads for this school. And
so they were following you.
They were targeting
almost like
me.
Geofencing and targeting kind of a thing.
Right,
okay.
because of my interest in luxury, and they were advertising study luxury business, study luxury marketing, and because I was so interested in this niche area, I thought this was I looked at like the class program, the curriculum, and it was all stuff that would lead me down the path of creating experiences.
And this is in Marbella, correct?
This is in Marbella, Spain, south of Spain, yes.
Lucky you. The south of Spain, not so bad. So when I think about immersing yourself in luxury, like you said, the Dior yacht, it's like the Ritz-Carlton Corporation. Now, the Ritz-Carlton has the Ritz-Carlton cruise ships or yachts, whatever they're called. So the assumption is you get into a Ritz-Carlton yacht, you're totally surrounded by Ritz-Carlton. So talk about a way to get people to embrace and live the brand. That's, to me, is incredible. I think about what they're doing. I think there's a building on Fifth Avenue now that's all brand, that's wrapped by Louis Vuitton or something.
The suitcase?
The suitcases.
I think that's in London. Maybe it's also in New York. But
I just think that's a marvelous, it's a crazy, marvelous idea because, boy, talk about a way to say, here we are you, we want you. Now, of course, this is all driven to purchase, correct?
At the end of the day. Well, also you're creating aspirational customers in luxury a lot. So these experiences are almost like tastes of the brand, whereas like someone would pay, a little extra on a meal to go to a Louis Vuitton cafe and be able to post and say, I'm one of the people that shops here, even if they don't actually, they can't afford the $20,000 bag
for whatever they're buying, right? Kind of a thing.
A little meal and pictures is a way to get them to an aspirational customer to dream of like being part of that environment.
To me, it's interesting because you've got that where you went to school in Marbella, and I want to talk about your adventures after that. Did you study something before you did this?
I did communication. So this was my master's in Marbella, marketing and management.
Okay, that's why I knew there was some path there to get you there for that. So when you think about these things, one of the brands, well, there's the Ritz-Carlton brand condos that seem to be going up in Pompano Beach. I think there's one in real estate, West Palm Beach. Then you think of all these buildings in Miami that have like cars attached to them. That's a brand like it's
the Aston Martin building.
Exactly. We're on the same page once again. The Aston Martin building, where you're the luxury of that name going into it. To me, it's really interesting to see that people. It's aspirational. So you buy a condo in an Aston Martin building without an Aston Martin.
Well, I would say that's like the next step. Actually, I think the products that really are aspirational are probably more so when brands expand into lifestyle and like cosmetics or perfumes, smaller, more affordable things, but that really affect the senses or visual, like makeup and stuff affects how you look, and perfume makes you feel a certain way. Scents are super strong marketing, and it's something that someone can afford and dream of being able to then afford the car or because I'm sure the residencies are
expensive.
More than the car, probably.
I would assume so. Cause, well, you can, I guess. Well, who knows, right? At this point, the cars are pretty darn expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when you think about scents, I wear a certain scent. I wear the same one. I have two that I choose from all the time. And when I am around people and they smell it, they go, "Oh, that's your signature scent." It's an old scent. But I think about it because it gives me special memories of special people, kind of a thing. And it's one of those things. It's a luxury you can't afford. It's like buying a bottle of Chanel. Basically,
but with the memories, you mean? With the memories.
So buying a bottle of Chanel or what I wear, which is an old perfume, they're cologne that nobody knows of anymore. So in your school, what did you study in your master's to get to this?
Marketing and management for luxury tourism was the full name of the
luxury
degree.
Tourism. And what is luxury tourism?
So for me, it meant my classes were focused both on like retail marketing, so brands, for example, Dior, Chanel, all those luxury clothes, cars, jewelry, but also hospitality, so hotels, and implementing an experience, like focusing on the guest experience throughout the marketing journey, and then not being focused on just like the website or digital footprint, but from the whole brand, the interaction with the first person you talk to when you enter the hotel, how they greet you, everything. It has to go deep into the brand, right? So that every customer touch point, it's incorporated the values that you want to portray.
It's interesting because, in the theater business, when I was running big performing arts centers, we called it street to seat service.
Okay.
So the minute the person got out of that car to walking into that building to, like in a hotel, going to the hotel room, it's you just said touch point. Every touch point along the way, you have a chance to interact and reinforce the brand. It's like when you go to the Breakers. right? The Breakers here in Palm Beach, one of the best hotels, if not the best in the entire world. You pull up there in this gorgeous setting with these big palm trees and the fountain, and you know you're in for a special experience, right?
Right.
Or you go to the Colony Hotel here, the Pink Palace in Palm Beach, and you know you're in for a special experience. So with you, I'm assuming they were training you that all those touch points have got to be perfect. They've got to be on brand. Like the back of one of the cards of one of the hotel chains, the ladies and gentlemen of XYZ welcome you. It's on the back of the card of one of them. So
I don't know this one.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to say who it is because it's too much advertising for one brand.
okay.
But it's not one of our local hotels.
Okay.
In any case, you were trained in the school to be able to execute those types of campaigns, correct?
Yeah, campaigns, or even just like our classes went from everything under management. So for business, so finance, not data science, but data.
Well, data capture, data science.
Yeah, understanding it. Statistics and data analysis is what the class was called. Luxury lifestyle, events, leadership, management, like talent management.
Everything you have to do to get through it, right?
As a manager, but also for marketing, so digital, brand building, all of that.
So after graduation, what did you do? Did you have this aspiration of going to work for a big brand, a Louis Vuitton or something like that? Or tell me what happened. What was your journey after that? Before, I know where you were before, but I'm kind of curious where it was before that and how we got to you to get to us. Okay. Basically.
Yeah. So part of my program was a year in school plus a 6-month practical. So an internship, basically.
Like an internship, a practicum.
And in order to get the degree. And so at the school, I met a bunch of people, networked. The students were international. It was an international school. And it's interesting, comparing prices of U.S. schools to this school, it was almost like the same I paid at UC Santa Barbara in California.
Okay.
So University of California public school, but I was in Europe, Marbella, And
for a master's.
Yeah. And but knowing prices of education in the U.S. compared to prices of education in Europe, the kids that went to this school came from
well-to-do families.
Yeah.
Well-to-do families.
And they were all like families that owned hotels, wineries, restaurants, hospitality groups.
So they're
basically
somewhat investing in their future as far as the family business.
Exactly.
It sounds like.
Right. But for me to not come from that background, it was super smart to go to this school and become friends with all these people. And so I became friends, and one of the friends I made, they had like a car events company, her family, and I worked in cars before in LA, luxury cars again. And so we became friends based off that, just talking about the, car world.
Your background in the car world, because you've done it before.
And so when the time came to get the job, I just asked, like, are you looking for an intern? And it worked out, and they happened to have a branch here in Miami in West Palm Beach. They do an annual event at the Breakers every year, and that's what I was an intern for. I was a project management intern for this huge event that happens.
Was it a paid internship, I hope?
Yes.
Okay,
paid
good.
Internship.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Yeah, it was great. It was really a wonderful experience.
And what's the name? Tell us who this.
This is, so the event is called Cavallino. They host the Cavallino Classic every year in Palm Beach. They also have one in Italy now, and Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Yeah, they're growing, and it started as a magazine here in Palm Beach a while ago.
What cars are these?
Cavallino's focus all on Ferrari.
Only Ferraris.
Collectors, Ferrari history, new news of Ferrari, basically, the cars, basically.
So immersion into the luxury Ferrari brand, basically.
Yeah, and the company that does the event, so that's a magazine company that hosts, think like Met Gala and Vogue.
Vogue, okay, yeah.
So they have a magazine and they have their big event. But the company that owns Cavallino is called Canossa, based in Italy. This is my friend's connection. Yeah, Canossa is a events agency, basically focused on car events. So driving events, and they also have lifestyle, like weddings and whatnot, regular event planning, but focused on car tours, car experiences.
Well, I know that the car enthusiasts are really like enthusiasts. They dig in.
It's a big community.
Yeah, they dig in. And once they dig into their brand, there's no separating them.
Right.
I mean, once they're loyal. I mean, I'm loyal to my brand also in my cars, whatever style it might be. And I like them because they're safe. I like them because they're reliable, all those kinds of, not so much the style, but as much as just like the things that surround you within that brand kind of a thing. So you're with them for how long? A year?
It was supposed to be a 6-month internship. It went on to 8 months. and
the rest is history.
and
So
after that I came here. Yeah.
so we went out looking for an events manager, and we were fortunate enough to find you and to come to the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. And so you've been with the Chamber of Commerce now about 6 weeks, maybe going on 2 months. You've been through one breakfast, our big breakfast every month that we have with between 500 and 600 of our best friends show up for breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning at the Breakers.
Yeah.
We all get up early. We're there between 5:30 and 6 a.m. to get ready for our guests. What are your thoughts so far as the brand, the Palm Beach? Well, there's the Palm Beach brand. There's the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce brand, and both of those need to come together, and they are coming together because I think they're synonymous with each other. Of
course.
And with your background and training, now that you've kind of immersed yourself into it, what are your thoughts on putting the two together and just taking it to the next level? Kind of a weird question, kind of a hard question, but I've seen you work now the last 6 weeks, and you've just kind of like dove in like a porpoise into the water. It's amazing.
Thank you. It's a great question, and I think that you are on the track of doing that. You have been since before I joined. I mean, program quality-wise, it's great. I know that we focus on bringing in Palm Beach businesses, people who have been successful in this area, are well-known in this area, really focusing in on the community of Palm Beach, and I think that's a great way to associate your brand with what it is, like narrowing in on who we are basically. But to add to that, I think that Palm Beach is luxury in itself.
Aspirational.
Yeah, a lot of people want to live here, and I actually just watched that show on Apple TV, Palm Royale.
Oh, the Palm Royale TV show with lots of Lily Pulitzer clothes.
Lily
looking clothes.
Pulitzer.
Maybe it's Lily. I'm not quite sure, but Lily looking clothes. If not, Lily should get a big credit for this and sell some clothes. That's for sure.
It for sure looks like it. And so watching that, people, I don't know if people know the plot, but it's like this girl trying to get into
Palm Beach society.
Right. And I think that to enter the society is hard, and I think that we are almost like an entrance into the society.
We're a point of entry.
Right.
Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce is a point of entry into the Palm Beach community. Absolutely, and that's something that I believe in, because we've taken what is a business enterprise, a nonprofit, a 501c6 to be exact. I've tried to, with our colleagues, create a town green for people to come in and converse and get together.
Yeah.
And to convene. I love the word convene as opposed to conversations. That makes me crazy. But to convene, so you're right, it's a point of entry into understanding what Palm Beach is as a market and as a community.
I also think that the people that are in it understand, Palm Beach and its values, and we have some really great members, and it's a like you said, a great environment to convene that leads to understanding Palm Beach even more and more, and being able to enter, to make friends, to meet people, to make those connections.
And build their businesses and raise money for their charities. I mean, we can give specific examples of people who have joined the Chamber of Commerce with their brand to get into the Palm Beach market. For example, Go Green Dry Cleaners. Young entrepreneur comes in, wants to buy these companies, put them together, and now is one of our major sponsors at the Chamber of Commerce, because they want to get Go Green Dry Cleaners in front of everybody, because it's a Palm Beach business.
Right.
And it's amazing. But it also has to be the quality, and it has to be the approach and the way you do things. You can't just show up and say, "Oh, I'm here, so here's my business, and I'm going to be in." Right. Now, that's not meant to be negative, by the way. It's just. You said it earlier. We have a set of values. It's a value proposition and etiquette, values, etiquette, and the way we do things in Palm Beach is different than everywhere else. And I say that in the most positive, most wonderful, most upbeat, most welcoming way that I can, because we are welcoming. At least I believe we are.
I also think so. I think that we're like a fresh of breath air compared to the club in Palm Royale,
Yeah.
And those exist.
They do exist. They do exist.
Yeah, I think that we're friendly, we're welcoming, we're a great way to start your entry into Palm Beach.
Well, if you are listening or tuning in right now, I love the word tuning in because I'm old. If you're tuning in right now, this is Doug Evans, your Palm Beach guide. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. With me is Arggin who is our events manager, somewhat new to the organization, but not new to understanding how one puts together major events and things like that. We were just talking about the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce and the etiquette and the atmosphere that comes with joining our chamber. And Arggin, I'm assuming you've been to other chambers of commerces. You've seen how they've done business. You've seen how, or even other events with other places.
Right.
And I tend to think we do things differently. You've gotten through our white party last week. Our Palm Beach Young Professionals have a white party every year, and I was told it was a huge success.
It was great.
Yeah, and and a lot of fun, I hope.
A lot of fun, for sure.
I was in London for the Concordia event, so I had to miss it, but it was held at the O Palm Beach Hotel. We try to keep all of our events on the island, if at all possible, and this was a great event. So you've gotten that. You've been through one breakfast. The next breakfast is right around the corner, and then we'll take a bit of a hiatus for the summer. But when you see the brand, you've seen our brand, what ideas might you have, and not to put you on the spot, what ideas might you have to help reinforce the brand or make some changes? Because, we would call it a PIP, a performance improvement plan, which you would have had in your master's school, to talk about how do you better things all the time. We're always about bettering things with us. What thoughts might you have as far as deeper engagement so that people, when they show up, they understand it's the Palm Beach brand, it's the Chamber of Commerce brand, and it's different from everybody else in a good way?
I think that with a brand, the biggest way to build your brand, to strengthen it, is to keep associating with things. I mean, that's how you build a brand, right? People come to understand something based on associating it with something else. So whether it's the values or the location or whatnot, and for us, I think that the location of where we have our events is a big, big factor in that. And I mean, you said a couple of them, the Breakers, Colony Hotel, the O. These are...
They're iconic.
Iconic, not just to Palm Beach, but also top luxury environments, destinations. Hard to get into if you're not of that status and of that like financial standing.
Right.
So again, we allow people to get a taste for that. It's almost like creating that aspirational customer. We're almost marketing for these businesses.
Well, we are marketing for these businesses.
Yeah, I mean, we're creating their aspirational customers basically, so that one day they go and they stay at the Breakers for the weekend with their family or the Colony, or
and they think that the first time I was here was at a Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce event.
Starting my career or growing, and it's a full circle moment, but.
It's aspirational. I love that. I love that word. And what's nice about the membership at the Chamber of Commerce is we present these opportunities. And I've said from the very beginning when I started the Chamber almost 3 years ago, we can create the opportunities, but you get out of it what you put into it, basically. And I think, and I've watched you do this, and I've watched Kiana and Gabby and Jane, the entire team, we tee up aspirational opportunities for people, and we deliver great content for them. What you do with it is up to you. If you do nothing, you just show up and say, okay, this is fine, and then turn around and walk out. But I think I'm seeing more and more people over the course of the last 3 years embrace our brand.
Yeah.
And embrace the opportunity. I mean, are you seeing this with people when they come to the events, how they are responding to it?
I think people are so happy to be there, engaged, interested. I mean, the programs are so interesting. We bring great speakers who really know what they're talking about, and it actually, correlates to the region, to Palm Beach. And for example, our breakfast this month, we have them talking about the Breakers and their plans. And
yes,
this is huge. People want to know what's going on with
it's
Palm
behind
Beach.
the scenes. It's almost like you don't know about it unless we tell you about it, kind of a thing.
So I think it's super engaging. People want to be there and learn and hear, be in the loop.
Well, and I also feel that we are, and I used this term the last week in London, we're the geopolitical center of the universe right now.
Palm Beach, yeah.
Palm Beach is, and because the president has the Winter White House here, we have ambassadors. We have ambassadors converging on Palm Beach to understand the market, to also see the president, talk to the president. And then also, basically, once they get here, they feel like they really would like to establish some kind of a I love the word beachhead here, if you will, in Palm Beach. So what I love about that is that we're introducing people, giving them access, and then they're embracing it and doing something with it. Right. It's aspirational, but then you can take that aspiration and turn it into an actual business. if you will. And I love that about this. So people come to the events, we give them the taste, we give them the aspirational opportunity, and then with what you're doing with them and creating more events, hopefully for the future, which you're going to say, okay, I've got 75 right now, I need to go to what, 100 or whatever it's going to be. But we also, with the speakers, you mentioned the speakers, you know, the Breakers Breakfast in June this year is the Breakers.
Right.
Talking about all the great things they're doing in town because they own a lot of property, more than just the Breakers Hotel itself, restaurants and thoroughfares and things like that. That's terrific. Also, other speakers coming in. This past year, we've had ambassadors. We've had presidents of companies. I think, Arggin, at some point in time, people are going to expect more of us than just the local flavor. They're going to say, all right, so you've got these connections with Ambassador Dobryansky, for example. She was in last year to talk about global affairs and things like that. I had a lovely conversation with the former British Prime Minister, Theresa May. I invited her to come. And she said, yes, she'd love to. But to have something like that, don't you think that's appropriate for who we are and what we do?
Yeah, for sure. Not just focus in Palm Beach, but these people in Palm Beach, their businesses are global.
Yes.
And so it is like you said, a global epicenter. I don't know what word you used, but global hub.
The whole global hub, the global epicenter. It really is of what's going on here. It's epic in nature.
Yeah.
And I think that even when you watch a TV show like Palm Royale, it's Palm Beach. You know, we are the epicenter of global transition right now with the president being here. All eyes are on Palm Beach.
Right.
24/7, 365. I made a comment when I was giving a speech for Concordia in London this last week. I said, I'm from a little town you've probably never heard of, which is on the news every day, and they just laughed hysterically because we are the geopolitical center of the universe. Geopolitical center of the universe. Now, in the summer, it's going to be a little less geopolitical center of the universe because the president's summer White House, besides D.C., is, I believe, in New Jersey somewhere.
Okay, another one.
Yeah,
okay.
Another one, which another club there, which is great. So anyway, it's terrific. Well, Arggin, I'm so glad you've joined us. Any other words of wisdom you'd like to impart about as you've joined the chamber or you've come to live in Palm Beach and build your life, hopefully build your life here? Because the honest to goodness truth is, once you've lived here, you typically don't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah, it's really nice here. And that I agree with. And I was thinking about my last words while you were saying that last part. But I think just based off what we talked about today, I think anyone who has a business should consider joining the Chamber, 1, and 2, really focus on marketing and think in a luxury hospitality sense, no matter what your brand is, because like we talked about, going on all those touch points across, you really have to think of your brand through every interaction a customer will have with it and implement, you know, the standards, the values that you want throughout the whole thing, not just through marketing or not just through one touch point, is what I'd leave with.
And you've left with a good thought, because what's nice about this, Arggin, is that there's no better place to build a business right now in history than Palm Beach County and Palm Beach proper. With the explosion of people moving here, with this now being referred to Palm Beach as Wall Street South,
right.
It's amazing the amount of financial services firms moving here. The amount of young people who have moved here, living in downtown West Palm Beach, is seismic.
Right.
You know, some of these words I love to use because it's seismic in nature. You know, these Silicon Valley companies that are leaving other places in the United States and moving here, it's turning into a Silicon Valley. The amount of private schools that are being founded here and opening here because people who are moving here have an expectation that if there's a private school available for my child, whether it's whether it's an arts academy or a magnet type school, or whether it's one that's a little more conservative or one that's a little more liberal, we're seeing an explosion of private schools being founded here. Roosevelt, all these different schools are coming here, and to me, it's absolutely amazing. So, you've been sitting here today with Doug Evans. I'm the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, with Arggin Avanessian, who's the new events manager. So this episode will not wear well with time, because you won't be new much longer, that's for sure. The Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. You've tuned into your Palm Beach Guide today. Doug Evans here with Arggin Avanessian. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can find your Palm Beach Guide today with wherever you find Spotify, wherever you get your episodes, and do tune in to YouTube so you can take a chance and see what a Lilly Pulitzer jacket looks like. Make it a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.